What's up, Bulls Nation, and welcome in to CHGO Bulls Pregame, presented by PointsBet. Don't forget that promo code CHGO when you sign up to live your bet life. I'm Matt Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. The man with the bat is Big Dave. Follow him at BNWL Sports. Will Gottlieb over there is at Won't Gottlieb on Twitter. We collectively are CHGO_Bulls. We got our producer Joey hanging out with us tonight. A whole bunch of people still in the building here at our West Loop Studios downtown Chicago.
The early start.
Early start. I love the 6 p.m. tips. Why can't they all be 6 p.m. tips? You know why? Because then they wouldn't be special.
Wow. That was so well done. I like that.
But you only get a few of them every year.
It's true.
Those East Coast 6 p.m.
tips.
tips.
They're canceled out by the West Coast.
Oh, God.
Thanks for bringing us back.
We're done with those, though.
Neuralize me.
We're done with those.
I got a bat today. You know,
unless the Bulls make it to the finals and play some West Coast games in the finals, we are done with that.
Games all start earlier.
That's true. They all start
This is a movement. We want earlier starts. Adam Silver.
Says the man with writing deadlines every night the Bulls have a game. All right, guys. Coming off of a gross, ugly loss to the Knicks last night. Second night of the back-to-back for the Bulls in Washington, the fifth and final game of this road trip from hell. They need this game. They need this game. Joey, do we have the updated Eastern Conference standings as of last night's action across the NBA? As you see there, the Bulls do still hold the tiebreaker over Toronto.
Yes.
And are tied with them record-wise. Have a game on the Cavs, who they also hold a tiebreaker over because the Bulls beat both of those teams last week. But, you know, other than those tiebreakers, the situation is dire right now, Mr. Gottlieb.
It's not great. I mean, and we've talked about it a bunch too. The season or the schedule does not get easier.
No.
These games, they have Wizards obviously tonight, and that's really their last non-play-in, non-playoff team. They got to win. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, the importance of this game can't be understated on this one. If you want to see angry me, lose this game. is what I'm saying.
That's a real statement.
Yeah, man. Like, no, you cannot lose
if
this
you
game.
don't know, Dave is like the ultimate positivity guy. He's here to keep us level-headed.
I think they know.
They just see me with a bat, and they're like, I don't know, man.
The bat is
it's throwing people off a little.
I mean, he's starting to slide. But you got to do your thing. And they won the Raptors and Cavs games, which were equally, if not more, must win.
Yeah.
They still have those tiebreakers. So hopefully they will take care of business and understand what they need to do. But it's games like last night where you're just like, why doesn't this happen?
Yeah. You're left scratching.
You know
your
what
head.
you needed to do last night. You got to go out and do it.
Yeah, you're left scratching your head after those kind of losses. And then again, I'm just saying, coming into this game, knowing they don't have Bill, you know what I mean? Knowing the injuries they're dealing with, knowing the slide they've been on, they're not a better team than you. You know, without Lonzo or whoever is not out there, they're still not a better team than you. You should go out there and you should win this basketball game, period. You have to have it. And then when you win it, you know, you'll get yourself a little ground. You know what I'm saying? Get a little more breathing room going into the next day because, honestly, that's really how they have to take this is game by game. They can't look ahead because I'm definitely not because it's ugly down there. But you got to get this game up, and then after this one, we'll deal with the reality of the ugliness.
The Bulls did have a couple of questions coming into tonight's game. Zach LaVine, you know, because they're still managing that knee. It is the second night of a back-to-back. Billy did confirm pregame when he talked to the media that Zach will play tonight. And Alex Caruso also listed on the injury report coming into today. You saw him wearing some kind of brace on his back when he was out getting rest in between stints last night's game. He's still dealing with that lower back contusion. He is also active. So here's our starting five, same as it was against the Knicks.
All right.
Ayo, Caruso, Zach, DeMar, and Vooch. Those are your starting five for the Bulls tonight. Meanwhile, the Wizards are struggling in their injury department. So not only is their franchise guy, Bradley Beal, out for the season with that wrist injury. That happened back in like mid to late February, I believe, when they made that final decision. Gafford, your boy.
My boy.
Looks like he's going to play. He had been out for a certain absence with a neck strain of some kind, but he was in playing for them in their most recent game on Sunday. Kyle Kuzma, out. Knee.
That's
big help.
Huge.
Big help.
Colossal.
We're going to take a look at just exactly what Kuzma and Beal did together to the Bulls in their first two meetings. If you recall, January 1st and January 7th, the Bulls played these Wizards twice in the span of a week. But boy, if you can't get a win against this Wizards team, there you go. You see what Beal and Kuzma did in those two January games. Beal put up 53, Kuzma had 50. Also, Spencer Dinwiddie only played in one of those two games in January. He chipped in 18 points in the one game that he did play, and now he has been sent off to Dallas, hanging out with our pal John Sabine.
Hitting back-to-back game-winner buzzer beaters.
Massive. Been huge for Dallas.
Pulling a DeMar.
Yes,
You want to know something slightly sad about the Wizards? Is that they have the same net rating as the Bulls over the past 10 games, which is minus 7.1. 25th in the league. So
I just smelled that when you said it, and it smells terrible.
Teams that are worse than the Bulls, like over the last 10 games, they have been the same quality, which is sad and scary.
Not very sad and very scary, and still you should beat them. Like you have to beat this team, especially with the injuries. Basically, their main star is going to be Porzingis. Like that's going to be their main guy that they're looking at. So and Porzingis, he plays okay, against the Bulls. I believe he's averaging like 20 and 7 through his career playing against Chicago. Even the last game he had when they played Dallas, when he was on Dallas, he had about 23 and 12. Hit a couple threes in that beatdown that Dallas had against us, man. But if that's your only guy and that's the main dude we got to worry about, you should be able to win this game. I can't say that enough.
And as Todd Packer, what's up, Todd, said in the comments, Kispert is like the other really lethal guy for Washington recently.
That's true.
I believe he had a team high 25 for them when they beat the Warriors on Sunday.
Now, one thing we've seen is the Bulls will give up that big game to some random basketball player, some 2K
Are we putting Kispert in the random basketball player category?
I'm putting him there.
I think he belongs
right there. I'm putting him
even more so than Burks, who killed the Bulls last night.
Yes, he
Everybody
did.
At this point knows who Alec Burks is.
Yes, but the center they had, again, the NBA street dude they had on that team, no clue who that is. But like they have these random basketball players, the Furkan Korkmaz, of the world, the Gabe Vincents, those kind of guys.
Jose Alvarado.
Say it again.
Jose Alvarado.
Who? Shout out to him. Did you see he signed a contract?
He signed a guaranteed deal.
He signed a guaranteed deal. What was it, like 2 years and $6.2 million or something?
Yeah. Like that.
Shout out to him. $3 million guaranteed.
That's awesome.
He got a contract after punking the Bulls.
That's pretty much what happened. He got that. That's exactly how it happened.
Frickin' A.
Shout out to Denzel Valentine's cousin for getting that contract. That is amazing and awesome. He should get that. No, for real. He deserves that.
For a second,
money.
I thought you were serious, and then I remembered
I saw you go somewhere right there.
God.
Yeah, that looks scary.
They just look alike.
Yes, they just look alike,
They
man.
look
It's all right.
exactly alike.
They really do. They do not play alike, but they definitely look alike, man.
They're kind of polar opposites.
Yeah, because he's
players.
that fire, that energy, and IQ.
Because Alvarado's
IQ and defense.
Yes.
What's the word? Good at basketball. That's other polar
That's
opposites.
what it is. Speaking of good at
They gotta
basketball,
win this game.
Denny Avdia has been a revelation this year for the Wizards. He's been playing really well. Denny Average, as some on the internet would call him.
I debated
King Kobe in the comments just said, I'm putting Denny Avdia in that random player who kills the Bulls category.
I like Denny, though. I wanted him when he was
Yeah.
draft.
He was, I think,
Denny.
7th pick, so the Bulls should have gotten him because they always draft 7th. But he's been playing
Bringing
really
all
well
our blues
and
tonight.
turning into a real player.
Yeah.
Last year, he just did not look good, but this year he's playing behind Rui Hachimura.
Thank you, Matt.
He's
That was
playing
for the drafting 7th comment.
Yeah. See, I missed the last one when you brought that up last time. Yeah.
I can't be stopped.
Can't be stopped, man. Somebody get this, man.
But Denny is playing behind Rui in the lineup, and I think that should probably switch. Rui's been not very good, and Denny's been very good. So we'll see how the minutes shake out. But another player who could, potentially give the Bulls some problems tonight. And then our old friend, Tomas Satoransky.
Oh, your boy.
You mean the hero of the universe who knocked Grayson Allen on his ass?
I was lobbing it up for you.
Tomas Satoransky? my new favorite NBA player.
Talk about falling into that role. He truly was not trying to do that to him, man. He just fell into that, and heaps of love have now been placed upon his broad shoulders.
Remember all those debates that we used to have back in the day about Sato versus Kobe in the starting lineup?
How bad were we? We were debating this hard.
Right. Well, I think clearly we all know who the winner is now.
I don't know.
This guy.
I have no idea.
We all spoke last night and the game before that about how all of us have lost our faith in Kobe White.
Well, no,
He's on
all
a
of
terrible
y'all.
stretch of games. Meanwhile, Saturansky is the people's hero.
He's your hero.
I won that argument.
How? You know what? You look like you need that. I'm going to let you have that because you look like you need a win, man. Go ahead. Take that.
You
need a W.
Yeah, I need a win.
You need a W, man.
The Bulls need a freaking win.
Say it again, Matthew.
The Bulls need this win.
Oh, they need it so bad. And I know, we got to, dismiss, Gafford getting this 45 and 20. But outside of that, they have got to get this W out here tonight, man. You cannot lose to the Wizards. I can't say it enough. Joey, I can't say it enough. You can't lose to the Wizards. You got to get this win.
Noted.
Thank you. You got to get this, man. They got to get this W, dog. Like, it's vitally important, especially within the standings and especially going forward, like you mentioned. It's ugly coming up who they got to play.
Yeah, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves.
Please don't.
It's like the game in front of them.
Yeah.
Got to take care of business.
Got to take care of it.
We'll freak out post game if we need to. But
DeAndre
we already
Armstrong.
got trap gamed by the Knicks last night. We
thanks,
can't
Will, for
get
that.
double trap gamed.
I didn't invent trap games.
Every game's a trap. You said they have back-to-back trap games.
Matt, DeAndre in the comments is wondering if you ended up getting back to Will Purdue last night.
Oh, good
I
question.
did not.
What?
And what do you want me to call Will Purdue at like 11:30 at night?
We
Although
should-
I did
He
accidentally,
called you.
I butt dialed him at like 1 a.m. one time when I was
You know
out at the
what?
bar with
You
some
don't-
friends.
You don't deserve this.
We should
number.
call him while we're on the air one time and see if he answers.
You don't deserve this number. What'd you say? Say it again.
We should call him while we're on the air one time and see if he answers.
We should.
That
Although
would be funny.
I don't know. Is he on pregame tonight?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I should call him while he's doing pre or post game and see if he picks
see
up
if he
his
picks
phone
up.
while he's on the air.
Oh, my God. That would be amazing. All right, Pack.
And then Bulls fans who might be turning into both,
Yes.
if they're watching that coverage and this coverage, just watch Will and I have a conversation on the phone together.
I would pay
Now
good
there's
money.
some hashtag content for
Yes,
you, Bulls
I would pay
Nation.
good money for that right there. A bunch of guys yelling.
It's the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
That's why I love it. More of it, please.
Ooh, Jake Smith just said, honestly, Gafford would fit so well on this Bulls team. Sadness. Speaking of Gafford, though, Big Dave, why don't you tell the people about PointsBet and how they could have some fun, maybe throwing a parlay out there tonight? Because I got one for you.
What does
got
that?
one?
Wait, what does that have to do with Gafford?
He's setting it up. Oh,
you'll
don't worry.
find out.
He's setting up, man.
Segue pack.
Let that
He
man work.
is a professional.
Let him
okay?
work, Joey. Let him work, man. Oh, yes. Because the best way to support CHGO is to download that PointsBet app and use that code CHGO when you sign up. And if you do that right now, you will get two risk-free bets up to $2,000. But that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership. That unlocks all that web content. You even get a free shirt of your choice from that CHGO Lacha. That's 2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, a free T-shirt from the CHGO locker, all for making a $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. And also, introducing PointsBet new feature, live college basketball same-game parlay for the first time ever. You can build the perfect live same-game parlay only, and I mean only, with PointsBet. You can buy your favorite bets anytime during the game, and if you want more,
Because I know you do.
you can also boost your live same-game parlays. You can watch live, parlay live, boost live, and party live with PointsBet. And now in Illinois, where it is cold outside for no damn reason, you can stay in the house and download that PointsBet app right now and register your account from start to finish, all from your phone. Plus, during PointsBet Match Madness, I swear I think that said March Madness, but I just like Match Madness. All users can earn up to $100 in free bets. During each round, just place $50 pregame wager and get a free $5, $10, $15, $20 live bet to be used for that round. So what are you waiting for? I don't know. Quit asking me questions. Go get the app. Because once the game starts, you don't just bet. What you do, Will Gottlieb?
Live your bet life.
With PointsBet. Hit me one time, Joey.
Do it! Just
Do it.
That felt nice.
Watch where you're swinging that bat, buddy.
You saw how I had it. You see the control? Come on, man. It's not my first rodeo here. I got it.
I just wanted it so badly to come crashing through the set.
That's so sad.
All right. Tonight's Bulls Wizards same game parlay comes to us compliments of our pal Cody from CHGO Bets and CHGO Cubs. You're going to like this one, Dave.
Okay.
Here we go. 5-legger. Me and Cody love our 5-leg parlays.
This is true.
Gafford over 8.5 points. That seems like a lock to me. He's going to have 6 dunks tonight, given the way that the Bulls have been rebounding.
Fair.
Over 4.5 rebounds. 4.5 rebounds? Again, he's going to get that on the offensive glass.
Yeah.
We're going Vooch over 10.5 boards.
Okay.
Because somebody's got a rebound. Contavious Caldwell-Pope over 2.5 assists.
He is on that team, isn't he?
And here's the part Bulls fans might not like.
Uh-oh.
Cody's fading the Bulls and taking the Wizards plus 3.5 as the final leg of that parlay.
Damn it.
They can still win, though.
He's good, though, because he's good at gambling.
But you know what? Just like I did when we needed that dub against Cleveland, I did not make a same-game parlay for this game tonight.
What?
Didn't do it. You know why? Because I need the win.
Breaking news.
Cannot be distracted by my gambling tonight. I need to focus on a Bulls W.
That lets
the last time I did that, it worked.
That lets
A
me know
true
you don't have
professional.
a problem. Yes. He does not have a problem. He's going to put it to the side for the Bulls.
The Gafford props,
I have
though.
many problems.
I didn't say that.
It's just that gambling is not one of them.
Did you hear me say that at all?
Yeah, you said.
I said you don't have that problem.
Oh, okay.
That one right there. Oh, no, we can get on the couch and get into it, sir, if you want. That's no.
Can we replace this chair with a couch real quick?
Oh, I think we need to, man. I think we need to. At least if the Bulls get this. Actually, I might need it. They get this lost. I might need this couch. I might need you tonight.
It must be fine leather.
Tonight. Yeah.
I'll be here.
The finest of leather.
The Gafford props made me think of the game last night when Mitchell Robinson gave the Bulls headaches. He had 8 offensive rebounds.
Yes.
At one point, he was like 7 for 7 from the field. I don't remember what he finished.
8
but
or 9.
That could be a similar problem with Gafford tonight, who obviously does not play as many minutes, but is a similar kind of player in terms of super long, super athletic, super aggressive, going to the offensive glass.
Yes.
I went back and watched some of the film on Vooch and just the team as a whole boxing out and trying to do their best to keep him off the glass, which obviously they didn't do a great job of. But I think Vooch is kind of an underrated box out guy. He's leading the league actually in defensive box outs per game, which is an interesting stat. So I do think a lot of it is on the DeMars and the Zachs and the Kobe's and the guards and wings of the Bulls to sort of come and finish those defensive rebound possessions where Vooch is boxing out but not necessarily grabbing the board. But I do think he has been pretty good positionally in terms of getting a body on guys. But obviously, guys like Mitchell Robinson can wreak some havoc. So I'm curious to see how that goes. And what was it, 4 rebounds?
Yeah.
That seems pretty low.
Yeah.
I do want to say, I think it's important also when they get those rebounds. Because remember, Kobe had about like 7 rebounds. DeMar had like 7 rebounds.
Timely.
So, yes, timely rebounds is what we're talking about. That's what they have to get. And quit giving up those second chance points because that absolutely murdered them.
There were absolute backbreakers throughout that game against the Knicks last night when the Bulls needed. And like the part that stung the most is that it happened after the Bulls collectively played, 24 seconds of good defense or, however long they had the ball before putting up that shot.
To turnovers, which I thought was interesting. And I think that's true.
That's true.
You're turning it over at the end of a possession if you're not getting that ball.
Damn.
Our pal Marquez said Sato's going to be throwing around shoulders tonight.
He did leave the Bulls with kind of do you guys remember this? Kind of an angsty tone?
A little bit.
Where he was like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was like ready to get out of town.
Yeah.
And then had a miserable first stint in New Orleans.
He did.
And then played 1 game with the Spurs. I don't remember that happening.
I don't remember that at all.
But then he got traded again to Washington where he is home.
And that's the reason the Bulls even got him in the first place, because he was killing the Bulls when they would play against him. So maybe he feels that comfort level again tonight, but I hope he doesn't. But
John and Gar loved that move.
Yeah.
When the randos go out there and kick the Bulls' butt,
what did I do?
They'll be like, "Oh, sign that guy."
I'm sorry, y'all.
That's why Luke Cornett showed up, y'all.
I'm sorry, y'all.
He had a good game against the Bulls. They were like, "Sign that man immediately."
That's Robert Ory.
Where is it? Nope.
That's Robert Ory to you, sir.
We're having
some of that right
we're
there.
having a day.
No. There you are. Yeah. Let me switch this bat over to this side.
Carlos said, I tuned in late. What's up with the bat, Big Dave?
Hey, man, I'm just trying to keep the peace, baby. It's the peacekeeper right here. It's Lucille. Shout out Walking Dead.
You literally look like you could be on The Walking Dead right now. That's
That's
the only thing I could think about. Like
Not as a zombie, though.
No, like you're ready at any time. Like,
Okay.
we're on the set, but we don't know what's coming, for tonight.
You don't know who I am or what side I'm with. So everybody's going to stay away from me and just leave me alone and keep bringing me food.
Guys, AK asks, is there a reason Derrick Jones Jr. not getting any minutes?
Yo.
I guess Billy talked a little bit about the rotation pregame, Will, but, maybe it's okay. So P-Dub is back. That was cutting somebody's minutes, but P-Dub himself has seen his minutes cut in the games he's played since coming back. So what is it with Derrick Jones Jr.?
Yeah, the Derrick Jones Jr. minutes line up perfectly with Pat's return. So basically, since Pat has come back against the Raptors a couple weeks ago, or I guess a week ago now, Derrick Jones has not cracked the rotation. I think he had 6 garbage time minutes in one of these games, but that's it. And today pregame, and I think maybe a couple days ago, Billy was kind of talking about, being flexible with lineups, getting Javonte in there, getting Derrick Jones Jr. back in there, playing Tristan at the 5, all these things. But Derrick has not earned the trust of Billy to this point. And I wonder about that. I mean, I think, he probably doesn't function best as a 4. He's very athletic. I thought he had some good moments as the short roll kind of pocket passer. And then, floor spacing, obviously not a great shooter, but the way that he can sort of attack the basket off the bounce, I think he is a lot more dynamic offensively than Tristan Thompson. I would like to see him get more of those minutes, but again, that's at the 5, not at the 4.
Right.
And it seems like Javonte, Pat, and Caruso are really going to be the main power forwards until, Pat could fall out of the rotation at the rate he's going right now, which is kind of crazy to think about.
And I think Derrick Jones Jr. also can help with your rebounding a little bit, because of his athleticism and how he crashes the boards. Because how he crashes it is he's jumping over everyone and trying to put that ball back into the rim. So
yeah, and Billy's mentioned in the past, it's interesting to watch, Javonte and Derrick Jones at the 4-5 really be disruptive with their length, athleticism,
very
speed,
much so.
To be able to get out in rotation, send guys, to attack closeouts rather than get loose from the corners. So I think they can do a lot of stuff, but for whatever reason, and nobody's really, pressed on Billy about this in any press conferences so far, that he just has not been able to get back in the rotation.
Has it been enough time? Has enough time passed for his finger to have completely healed yet?
They brought him back from the finger injury, clearly too soon.
Yeah.
Right? He was holding his hand every other play.
Right.
I don't know where he stands with that right now.
Okay.
It hasn't really been on the radar, and we haven't heard from him in any of these posts.
He's not on the injury report or nothing like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just one of many examples to show y'all how wild this season has been as far as Billy's rotations and how much has changed by a weekly and daily basis. You go back to January 1st and January 7th when the Bulls played the Wizards the first 2 times. Not only did he play in both of those games, Derrick Jones Jr. started both of those games.
So strange.
There you see it on your screen right there. Also, Lonzo Ball played in one of those 2 games.
That's a big part of it.
Lonzo was out in the other, and Kobe started in Lonzo's space in the other. But you see Lonzo Ball with those 18 points. You know where those 18 points came from?
Where's that?
6 of 11 from downtown.
Hello.
Could use that right now.
A little bit.
And there you go. Derrick Jones Jr. goes from starting to maybe he's out of the rotation. Kobe White gave us 41 points in those 2 wins combined against the Wizards on that first week of January.
He's feeling good.
Can we get that Kobe back, please?
I miss him so.
At least for tonight.
I miss him so.
You really need this game. Hey, Kobe, if you got 20 and 21 against the Wizards, please give us 20 plus tonight. We could really use it. Did you see the Bulls bench production last night?
I did, Matt.
Was there any?
No. Afraid not, Will.
It did not happen.
Afraid not.
And the Bulls were 6 of 24 from behind the arc.
They were.
And I believe DeRozan and Levine had 3 of those. So they're just not getting enough production from anybody on the bench. But if there's one thing we know about Kobe, it's that he gets very cold and then he gets very hot. So hopefully one of those hot streaks is right around the corner. And even better, it could be when the Bulls have their first postseason series.
And that's kind of what I missed, though, because he went on a streak where he was just sustained in his point scoring. You know what I mean? After he got reacclimated with the injury, it was sustained. It was 12. It was 14. It was 18. It was 24. It was a couple of 30-point games in there. So it wasn't an up and down like we had been used to seeing from him for so long. Mm-hmm. It was just a sustained thing for him. And he was being okay, doing the other things. Now, after this All-Star break, man, it's been super inconsistent,
And that's one of the things I've been harping on a ton is just like the Bulls get so down on themselves when they make mistakes, when they miss shots. It's like one possession where somebody gets back cut and then they completely unravel.
Correct.
Right.
And they miss all their shots and they can't, just the game is over.
And it's fun. DeMar talked about exactly that in postgame last night, and he is certainly one of the guilty parties of doing such a thing.
That's fair, because he gets the text,
For DeMar, it's like he didn't get the foul call that he wanted, and then he's complaining, and he's not getting back on defense. Then he give up 2.
Yeah.
And then he's pissed, so he goes and takes a bad shot, and he misses it, and they come down and get a fast break layup, and now that's like a 6-point swing right there.
Yeah.
And it just unravels the team, and they can't put this stuff behind them. And I wrote about it on Monday. Billy's been talking about it a lot. It's like this next play mentality where you just put whatever it is behind you, have a quick short memory on misses, and just go out there and do your job on the next play.
Do your job.
Shout out Tibbs. All right, real quick, before we get out of here, let's take a look at the big man. You mentioned him earlier, Kristaps Porzingis, the unicorn with that midseason trade from Dallas to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Not a huge jump since he arrived in the with the Wizards. He's played 11 games here in Washington compared to 34 to start the season with Dallas. His numbers are up a little bit, though. You can see his points per game are up, field goal percentage up a little bit, as well as his 3-ball. Mm-hmm. He's increased his rebounds and his assists. And those are per game numbers. He's actually playing 2 fewer minutes per game in Washington than he was in Dallas. So his efficiency is actually significantly higher than it was when he was playing for the Mavs.
Yeah, I think it's weird because there are players who play better when nothing's on them. I think Wendell Carter Jr. is a good example of that. But when there's nothing on them,
thriving in Orlando.
When there's nothing on them and there's nothing to really be playing for and no one's really having those high expectations of you, he kind of thrive in that role. And I think I'm kind of seeing that with Porzingis right now. You saw that early on when he was in New York when it first started and nobody was expecting really anything from him. He balled out, and then as soon as they started calling him the Messiah, ow. My shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Things started hurting. And then he goes to the Mavs, and, now he's in Washington. Go ahead.
I think injuries are part of it for sure. Obviously, you can't put together consistent minutes. You're just going to have a harder time while you're out there. But also, there's been weird tension with him and Luka. And you hear that's part of the reason why he was moved out of town. Obviously, the contract was a big thing, too, where the Mavs needed to basically break his contract into 2 smaller contracts so that hopefully they can find a way to put another star player next to Luka, which, Kristaps was supposed to be that guy, but it didn't work out. Mm-hmm. So a lot has gone wrong, and I think you're right. This is sort of a rehab spot for him where he can come in and just rehab his value, put up some points, shoot some threes, block some shots, do what he does, and see if he can then get moved again onto a better team. And that's kind of what the Wizards have done over the last couple of years with Russell Westbrook taking on that contract and then flipping him for Kuzma, KCP, draft picks. It could be the same thing with Porzingis.
So you're saying they're the person you date before you meet your mate that you're going to marry?
Sure.
That's what it sounds like.
Dude, that's me.
That's you?
Yeah. You know that movie Good Luck, Chuck?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's made about me.
Oh, my God. It's a classic.
Oh, dude, I could rattle off so many examples.
Film.
All right, so his only All-Star season, his final season with the Knicks, Kristaps, 22.7 per game on 44%. 39.5% from downtown. What happened to that, Kristaps? We just showed you the splits between Dallas and Washington this season. He managed to bring it up in these 11 games with the Wizards from 28 to 30.
Wow.
He had a 39.5 season.
That just gave me – I'm sorry I keep doing this to you guys.
Do it.
That gave me flashbacks to Lowry's month of March.
Stop it.
Being that one season.
Stop it.
And the rest being the rest. Something is wrong with me.
I'm trapped in this chair.
Somebody end this pregame show.
Well, good news,
His brain is going to be scrambled.
Because the clock is about to strike 6 o'clock Chicago time.
Woo!
We have reached tip-off time.
Let's go win.
Thanks for hanging out with us during pregame. Come right back here to our CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We will be here with a live edition of CHGO Bulls postgame for y'all. Let's go.
Keep going.
That's Will. That's Big Dave. I'm Matt.
What you got in your hand there, Jay? What you got?
Well, it's a great time for the mouse to have just died and it's come up on the screen and say connection lost.
Nice.
Definitely going to make it difficult for me to click end screen.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
all right. Well, you
just
let me know.
talk it
You
up
let me
for a
know when you're
second
ready to
while-
end the stream.
Let's
And we'll
see.
keep vamping until then.
Oh, we're back. All right.
got it,
See
baby.
red, be good, everybody.